Hi guys. Sorry it's been a while since I've posted, but just something I was thinking about, realizing today, and I think really in life is something that you have to constantly remind yourself of as a Christian. And God knows our hopes and our dreams, and it's okay to pursue our hopes and our dreams. I think we should, but I also think that our happiness in our life shouldn't depend on whether all those things come true or not. Because in reality, we should rest in God and rest in our relationship with Christ, knowing that He's all we really need. Our time on earth is temporary, and at some point, hopefully later than sooner, hopefully we all live good, long, healthy lives. But at some point, we won't be here anymore, and we'll be home with Jesus. And if we don't achieve or have things that we hoped for and dreamed of, then hopefully we've all taken the time to remind ourselves to rest in Him and to know that He knows our hopes and our dreams. He knows the desires of our hearts. And sometimes, and this is for me recently, you have to be willing to let those dreams go in the moment sometimes, and just trust that God knows better, and He has something better for you. And maybe in this moment, He's just teaching you to trust Him and rest in Him with your dreams and your hopes. And probably one of the greatest dreams I've ever had in my life, one of the things that's most important to me, next to my relationship with Christ and my family, is wanting to live in the country. I grew up in the country. The solitude of being able to just walk out on my back porch and stare at a field or look at some mountains is just constantly tugging at my heart. And hunting season's good, and we live in a beautiful area. I mean, you can look behind me right there, and there's a lake. I live in a beautiful area where the outdoors is just minutes away. But I can't just walk out my back door. I live in town, and I am in a state of feeling like I'm always watched or have the ability for people to see me, and it makes me not even really be in my backyard. But to get to the point is, one of the greatest desires for me is to have space and to live in the country like I did growing up, and for my kids to be able to run around in fields and play and not worrying about cars or strangers really driving by or worrying about my dog getting hit or anything like that. And just this last week, my wife and I went and looked at some land and really liked it. A lot of space, up pretty close to the mountains, really away from people, and just would have been the ultimate solitude. And when I'm home, I would be able to just be so quiet there. And I was trying to find how to make it work. Lots of ways, looking at every financing option I could. Do I sell my house? Can I keep my house and do that? Can I do some owner financing? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it was starting to feel forced. And I know when it starts to feel forced for me, then maybe it's not God's will. And right in the moment that my wife and I finally decided on a game plan, like this is what we're going to lay forward, and if it happens, if this step happens, it's God's will. If the next step happens, it's God's will. And if not, then it's not. Well, right after that, we got online and looked, and the property's pending sale. So it was like, okay, that hurts. There's not a lot of land like that one in the area. But I have to remind myself that it's all in God's hands. He knows the desires of my heart. And when I look back at my history, not saying He'll grant this one for me, but when I look at my history, God's granted me everything that I've ever wanted. I have a beautiful wife. I have beautiful children. I've got the career that I worked for. I've got a house, a nice home in a place where real estate's extremely expensive. I've got my health. I've got the outdoors and hunting, fishing and camping, and I live somewhere where those things are available, and those are all things I always wanted. So I have to find contentment and knowing that God knows best for me and for my family. And if that's His will, it'll happen. If not, I need to find contentment with where I'm at and in this moment in life. So I hope this is your reminder, as it is mine, to rest in God and know all things are in His hands. He's all-knowing. I wish you the best today. God bless you. And that's all I got for Russell's Rambles. Talk to you later.